anyway, I hope that helps you, Katie. Feel free to reach out again if you have any questions. These are like pretty deep. We're getting into the weeds now. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But that's where I love to be. I love that kind of stuff. So, and in order for me to really, get out on skis and really get a feel for it so I can further my own understanding. But I really do love that idea of moving the inside knee, activating it, and getting it to move instead of trying to angulate with the outside knee. I just don't think that works. Well,
Mhm.
it's gotten me so far, but it didn't work when I tried to go for my level three.
Mhm.
Right. And now I'm working on RMT. I have to do it even more. So, all
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, no problem. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Noted.
Good.
Snowed in? How much snow did you get there?
Well, I'm in Brooklyn and we have probably about a foot plus.
A foot plus? Joanne sent me an email, said that Boston got 20 inches.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
we might have gotten that.
Yeah, Dave, we don't we can't even commiserate at all, can we?
No.
We'll send it over.
Oh, God, please do, because we need it bad. We did get some snow. I mean, I don't even know how much we got today, but I know it wasn't nearly enough.
Yeah.
So we got 2 inches today. I was
Oh,
really, really light.
that's better than we
We
got.
got 5 or 6 inches yesterday.
Six by the time I'm done.
Yeah, 6 inches. Yeah, 1 to 2. It was really cold today. It was ridiculously cold, like, you know, northern New England cold.
We were
Humid,
8 to 12
blowing.
degrees today in Deer Valley.
You were what?
8 to 12 degrees.
We never got above 2.
Oh, colder than us, but you got
That was at
snow.
the base. It was
When I
very, like,
when I
it was
pulled into the
-1 at
parking
the
lot
top.
yesterday, when I pulled into the parking lot yesterday to teach, it was minus 17.
Yeah,
Well,
Oh,
which is fine. That doesn't really bother me, except when the wind's blowing 35 miles an hour.
well, that's why I left Vermont and came back to Brooklyn. I figured I wasn't going to ski in minus 17 weather degree. You know,
Well, we're really jealous of you guys on the east right now. I think Kelby made the greatest choice ever moving to Stove because Breckenridge is a disaster right now.
I got lucky. That was luck.
uh,
Anyway, anybody got a good teach they want to share?
oof.
Oof.
I've got an oh shit
Nothing.
teach. I'll
You
share.
got it. All right, go ahead.
Um, well, I've been skiing with the past few days a father and his son, and they've been coming to Stowe for several years taking lessons. And
Hmm.
their previous instructor, in my opinion, overtrained them severely. So I made the best out of it just by teaching tactics to this kid every day. For 3 days, we were in survival mode.
Hmm.
Okay.
So we did it, had fun, but yeah, just trying to explain to him there's a difference between, skiing this terrain and then just making it down. So it was interesting because he was a real smart kid. He's published a book and
Oh,
he's,
really?
yeah, 12,
Wow.
13. Yeah. So
Nice.
he's a very smart family. But just psychologically, he wanted to ski all the double blacks because he had before, and it was a rough few days. Fun skiing with him, but trying to get him to go back to technique and do things the right way was just
Hmm.
All right. Cool. All right. So that's good. What did I do? I had 5 kids yesterday, all between the ages of 7 and 8 years old. And you don't know what you're going to get. This was a lesson that was actually usually reserved for somebody else, but he was gone this week, so I inherited him, and he gave me the long spiel about what they've been working on. Of course, I don't know what I got until I get them. So I watched and I had three kids that were like, go, 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 go. I had one girl that was like kind of a little bit slower and a little bit more tentative. And then I had one boy who was, they were all good skiers. Don't get me wrong. They're all solid level fives, but they weren't quite, the one boy wasn't quite there. So the focus of what I noticed was is that he was very tentative, making turns. He was mostly in a wedge because as a result of it, I don't think he felt very confident watching him make turns. And the girl was kind of in the same situation. So what I kind of identified was, and this was my from a motivational standpoint from the kids, I didn't really ask them too much about it, but I did say, you know what? We need to work on some outside ski pressure. And so I did set up a couple of drills. You did my usuals, which are backward skiing, and I did some whirly birds with them because they had never done that before. Those are always good for those like fine motor skills control pieces.
What's a
But
whirly bird?
whirly birds like a flat spin 360 on snow. And then after that, we worked on hovering the inside ski as we were making turns. And then that hovering turned into, because they did that so well, that hovering turned into actually physically lifting the inside ski. And the next thing I know, the kid who was struggling with that tentative part because he didn't really feel like he had the control that he wanted, all of a sudden, I'm watching him. The task is over. We're going to go and do some free skiing. He's still doing the task. And he's trying to figure out how to move and align over that outside ski, which was really cool to watch from a standpoint going, somebody's found something he really likes. And then it was on after that. It was like, let's go find trees, let's go find bumps, let's go do this. And the fantastic part was that later in the afternoon, I ran into two sets of parents because this was like a group of families that put all the kids together in private lessons and took advantage of the system. And I ran into two different sets of parents, and the parents were just like,
Hmm.
and they were into bumps. They were doing bumps, and they didn't even realize that these kids could do bumps. And the kids are just flying through the bumps. Now they're not real hard bumps, but they're like even the ones that one kid who was really struggling. I mean, he's like right there, and it was just that same idea of I've cemented that idea that good skiers really do put as much weight on the outside ski as early as humanly possible, and that was the thing that really took him over the top.
I had a lesson where in 15 years of teaching, I've never ever said that. I had like 5 kids that could do the blues comfortably, and one that was just so terrified that he just went so slow that this is the first time I've had to tell somebody, point your skis down and just let them go straight down.
Right. Cool.
What you have to stop every single kid from doing is what I was trying to get this kid to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I eventually got him making nice turns with a little bit more speed.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Anybody else? Well, we've ran out of time. I want to get straight to our candidate who was kind enough to send in the videos, who will remain unnamed at this point in time. And I'm going to assign 3 different breakout rooms. And I'm going to be joining room 2. Dion, are you there? Oh my God. All right. Solving a Maslow's problem. All right. And I'm going to give each room a different video. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each room to do 2 different fundamentals. The third room is going to be the room that I'm going to be in. And we're going to pick we're going to pick manage pressure as our primary. And then we're going to pick a secondary that's going to support that. All right. Let me set up these rooms. So, are you, Laura, are you in this? There you are. All right. You're going to be in my room because you're here. And TK is going to be in my room because he's here. And Scott, I'm going to put you in one room and kind of help move them through the stuff. I got 5, 6 people here, and then Dion's going to kind of move through the other room. This is more of a mixture, but I need people to participate. Okay. And the idea is, can we create an overall picture that shows what the skier is doing and with a really nice and accurate pathway to progress? All right. Does that make sense? Cool.
Good process.
Huh?
Good process.
Good process. All right. You're going to be in this room. All right. We're all going to talk together. And Dion is now back. All right. Good. And I think she's got too many people in her room. Perfect. I'm going to steal one of yours, Dion. No, yeah, that's all right. All right. Okay. Go.
One eternity later.
All
We
right.
we got it cut out real quick. Who was asking me my last question? I have 2 seconds on that.
This is Ralph.
Yeah. So if he gets his knees, ankles, and hips flexed proportionally, that's gonna put his center of mass in the center of his skis. So that's how that relates. That was a good question. Thanks, guys.
You looking at the same.
Uh-uh. Oh, they're all, I got 3 different videos of the same skier, all doing different things. All right, cool. Group 1, that's going to be Dion's group.
So now do we get to see their video now?
We get to watch their videos. Yes. Yes. And you guys are doing ski to ski pressure and
Edging.
edging. Cool. Bam. And I'm going to assume this is your
That's
this
our
is your skier,
victim.
right? That's your victim. Perfect. I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and make this full screen if I can. Different outfit. Yeah. All right. Who's gonna Spreckensy on this one?
I'll try it.
All right, Dave. Go, baby.
Okay.
Which one are you picking?
Hey,
Uh,
David,
yeah.
one moment. Try and say the same thing you just said with half the words.
Okay.
That means you're really close, David.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dion. I'll try. All right. So I'm looking at a skier on basically on easier, what seems to be groomed blue run, who's making mostly parallel turns that are medium to short radius and size, generally sort of C-shaped. The fundamentals I'm looking at are edging and pressured pressure. I'll be looking at all 3 phases of the turn. The
Well, hold on. Are you doing both fundamentals or is somebody else going to do a different fundamental?
Well, somebody else is welcome to. I don't know. I was just kind of practicing.
Okay,
Well,
go.
AJ, I'll just do the first one. Somebody else can do the second one.
Yeah, there you go. I like that idea.
Okay, so this in edging uh, the skier is that I'm observing is delayed in creating edge angles, which are they're at their highest in what seem to be the finish phase of the turn. And the body performance I'm seeing that relates to that is is the cause of that is the skier is inclining earlier into the turn and not developing angles, not developing enough angulation. Um, I would like to see that skier be able to create an edge angle at the beginning, at the initiation, and advance being at the highest at the apex or just after the apex, which would mean the skier would have to create angulation earlier in the turn. Uh, if he were to do that, then his turns would not be looking like they would be more round, C-shaped, and equal in shape through initiation, shaping, and finish rather than being kind of sort of comma looked and with a high edge angle in the finish.
So how quickly do they get on and off edges?
Um, he's in the dirt. He's rapidly coming to a high edge angle at the finish and then on edging completely through that transition. So it's quick, it's rapid, and it's slow at the beginning and then rapid at the finish of the turn with the timing. So his timing is not proportionate in each of the phases of the turn.
So it's not tipping quickly.
Yeah, he's not tipping
It's just
quickly
like bam to
initially,
here to
and
here
then
to here
boom,
to
all of
here.
a sudden, yes, he's tipping aggressively or at the toward the finish uh, phase of the turn. And I imagine that's helping check his speed rather than edging earlier in the phases, which would allow him speed control throughout the turn.
Cool. So when are the skis on?
Right there at the finish phase. And
Finish
and
and
then he
what
immediately tips in the transition. He starts to tip to the other side. He starts his initiation in the other turn, but he doesn't create his highest edge angle until the finish phase of the turn.
okay. So is this candidate angulating at all?
He's angulating a little bit, but I don't believe he's angulating enough or earlier or early enough in the turn.
Okay, where is the angulation happening?
If I look at it, he's angulating more toward the latter shaping to finish phase.
Okay. So how are they creating angles then or how are they creating edging at the top of the turn?
He's not really create inclination, and then he's losing pressure on his outside ski, which is creating a kind of downstem at the finish phase because he's got too much pressure on the inside ski. But now I'm into pressure to pressure.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. So can we complete that picture by painting what's going on at the initiation? So edging is happening at the initiation. It's happening quickly.
But it's not reaching its
Sure. How are they creating the angles again at the initiation?
through inclinate his inclination.
Okay, and that's happening rapidly.
Yes.
And then when we get out to the shaping phase, what's happening? How
The,
are they creating angle? How are they creating tipping?
well, he continues his inclination.
Sure. And what else? Is
And
anything
he
else happening?
begins to develop some angulation there, right there.
There is not a describe. I'm
Okay,
looking at the ceiling.
okay, right as he's coming, it's there's a little bit of angulation toward the latter, the shaping phase and into the finish phase
Okay, so before or after the apex?
after the apex.
Okay, and then at the finish, what's happening?
At the finish phase, he's checking his speed with
Yeah, yeah, we don't care about that. Gone.
okay. At the finish phase, he's reached his maximum edge angle
How?
through by pushing it, by extending his outside ski and inclining. I mean, well, because he's created some angle, I think I'm,
Got stuck. Up, brain
yeah,
just farted, right?
yeah,
So it's a combination of inclination and angulation.
yeah, right. Yeah, that turn
No,
before, yes, there
or
was
the one
some.
ski's moving away.
And one ski's moving away. He has some inclination, angulation, and that when the outside ski is also moving away.
So that displacement is, just gave
Displacement
the
of his
answer away.
outside ski.
There we go. Okay. That's a more complete picture, David. I think you got like all the pieces there. Let's just start with the initiation, shaping, and finish.
Okay.
And I don't care if you do ski, then body, or body, then ski. I do body, then ski. That's just how I do
Well,
it,
I
right?
follow your diagram,
Yeah, yeah.
and the MA presentation, ski and then
That's,
body and then bodies.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's no perfect recipe for that. They just like you to talk about the ski first. Who is they are matter to me.
You did the ski well.
Huh?
You did the ski performance well.
I thought he did the ski performance perfect. It was the body thing that was starting to throw me a little bit, though. Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
Making
Jen,
those connections.
can you just, so I appreciate what David said. This is kind of where I was questioning at the beginning of the call. Can
Mhm.
you just like go through that like with just very like initiation shaping and finish on those angles from the body, just so I can,
Okay.
that would just really help me.
Okay, cool. You want to do that, Dave?
Uh,
What is the ideal? Let's start with the tipping part.
oh, okay. So if we're going through edging, the ideal would be that they would begin to initiate tipping. Well, initiate tipping
Mhm.
at the initiation phase. They would
Mhm.
progressively increase the edge angle toward the shaping phase, and as that's happening, they're generating angulation. So now they've developed angles with a maximum edge angle just after the apex. And then at that point, the edging they would begin to unedge um, from into the finish phase so that they were flat on their skis through the transition and ready to initiate tipping at the next turn, at the initiation phase of the next turn.
I guess I'm
Cool. How are they
asking
going to?
about body parts though.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. How is she? How is he? She? They going to do that?
So in ideally at the initiation phase, they would create a hip hike or hip nudge and be able to roll onto this pinky toe of the inside ski and moving slightly forward. That would allow them to generate a progressive edging through the turn, and that would increase. And as they did that in the initiation phase, they would start to develop angulation. So now they're developing angles in the body that would reach their maximum just past the apex. And then toward the finish phase, the angulation, they would deangulate and the inclination and angulation would lessen until they were on the flat of the skis in transition and maintaining counter still at that point into the next turn, at which point they would initiate the hip hike and roll on and then edging to allow edging to begin to form. And all right, sorry, timeout. I mean, you're asking me the ideal. These are the
All
things
right.
that I understand as
Okay.
the ideal in training, you know.
Katie, first of all, let me, before Dion, because Dion's just chomping at the bit.
No.
Save that question for our group, because we actually picked edging too. How's that done? All right. For Dave, I want you to think about the ground up.
Okay, so the skis.
You're done. You're done.
Okay.
But I
So,
want you, that question was really about how do we start to create
Oh, ankles and
things?
knees. You're tipping your ankles and your knees.
Yes. It starts with the ankles because we don't need a whole lot.
Okay,
We
I'm
don't
trying to get
need
think
very
too much
much.
in this idea. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
tipping your ankles and knees.
I know. Yeah. We're starting with the ankles because that's the
You're
closest part to the
you're
snow.
tipping with your ankles and knees, and then generating some beginning to well, I don't know. You're tipping with your ankles and knees, and then into the femoral head, and then you're from the
As you
pelvis up. You're
incline,
beginning to angulate.
as you've moved from one
And then
side of the
with
skis to
your
the other,
angulation, you're keeping your shoulders parallel to the horizon generally, and etc.
yeah, yeah. As you incline into the new turn, you start to use the ankles to adjust that edge angle.
Okay.
As pressure start to build, we start to add in some knee angulation. As we have the maximum amount, that's when we start to think about hip angulation because that's our strongest piece of joint, right? Because if we try to do everything with the ankles at the end of the turn,
No.
that's not a very strong joint to try to load up.
Okay,
So
but
we
and by
need,
just past,
that's why
just
we do
past,
those stacking.
yeah. Okay,
We
but we've
stack those joints.
generated. Okay, we've generated our angles certainly past the apex
Yep.
and
Yep.
around toward the finish. We're
Yes.
lessening
All
those
right.
angles.
You guys had ski to ski pressure. Who's going to talk about that real quick? And you got 2 minutes.
Can I talk about ski to ski?
Go.
Uh, the the skier is aligned mostly over the inside ski. We see him stacked over that ski. We can tell from the displacement of the outside ski at the finish of the turn that he has less weight on the outside ski because it's stemming out and pushing snow. Um, that he has less pressure on the outside ski at the end. And instead of flexing at the end of the turn where we would want to see more even, we'd want to see more flexing of the outside skis so that the length of the inside and outside skis are becoming more even. He's bracing with a long outside leg. So he's moving from a long outside leg to long leg to long leg. Rather than a bicycling long leg, short leg. So what we would like to see is if we can develop angulation after the fall line, we can develop more angles, we can get more pressure to the outside ski, not so much inclination
All right, hold
throughout
on.
the
Time
turn.
out.
Yeah.
We're mixing in angulation and inclination into a ski to ski pressure. Yeah, we
Okay.
shorten and lengthen legs. We
Okay.
extend and flex legs. So that's how we do that.
Okay.
I know what you're trying to say. However, I need you to stick to the fundamental. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So if we can if the skier could progressively lengthen the outside leg at the into and through the apex of the turn, and then flex that outside leg coming into transition. Then there would be appropriate pressure directed. Ski to ski, and then there would be an ability to then lengthen the new outside leg, directing pressure to the new outside ski.
Sure. That's good for the outside ski. What are we doing with the inside ski?
That as the outside ski is lengthening, the inside ski needs to flex commensurate. As the outside ski is extending, the inside ski needs to flex.
Okay. So we're not talking about skis. We're talking about legs, right?
Legs, right? Sorry,
Yeah.
legs. Sorry,
Yeah,
Don't worry. I've done
skis
practical
don't
skis,
flex.
Gumby.
Skis bend.
Skis bend,
Yeah,
legs
right.
flex and
Legs
extend.
flex,
Yeah.
yes.
Don't worry. I've been in that same spot. I think I've said it the same way 500 times. So you get it stuck in your head. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Questions on that? Anybody want to put a relationship together? I'm sorry. What'd you say, Dio? Oh, AJ is going to do the relationship. AJ, you got 2 minutes.
He
He
left.
left. Ah, of course. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next one. Group 3. Oh, there it is. AJ's. It's after 9 here. Yeah, yeah. Hey, David, are you going to be a copper on Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday and
Uh,
Wednesday.
Laura's going to be there too. You have a hug buddy.
We were in the clinic last month together.
Huh? Oh yeah, TK's not hugging anybody. All right. All right. So here is number 2. We got variable conditions. So this is group 3, and this would be Scott's group, right?
That would be us.
All right. And you guys had rotation and fore aft.
Correct.
Oh, cool. And who's going to talk about rotation?
Does anybody want to? I would recommend, does anybody want to speak up? Because Katie, I thought you did a really nice job.
I talked
Katie,
about fore aft though, but I can do rotation.
Well,
you could
no,
do
you could
fore
you
aft.
could
We
you
could do
could
fore
talk
aft
about the
first.
fore aft piece. We had
I
fore
think,
aft and rotary.
yeah, I'll do either one.
All right, you got 2
Since
minutes. 2
the
minutes.
skier is turning, the skier is on variable terrain and making more Z-shaped type turns. Am I doing rotation or
You're doing fore aft.
okay? The initiation phase, the skier is presumably bending the skis more from the back, and they are entering into the turn with very open ankle joints. Ideally, we would like to see the skis bend more from the tips at initiation. In the shaping phase, it's a very quick shaping phase. The skier is also out of balance with open ankles and flexed knees and more of an open hip. And we would like to see bending happening more in the middle of the ski. And it's hard to see on this video, but we're still kind of assuming more of the weight is in the tails and it's bending more from the back. Um, on the finished phase, we are seeing the skier, because of the momentum, which will lead into rotation that we'll talk about next. At the bottom of the turn with the landing, we see a little bit more of a flexion in the hips, but still an open ankle and sitting very far back with bent and flexed knees. And ideally, we'd like to see the skier be finishing the turn with the heel just with the weight in the center in a very balanced position with the weight just about at the heel and not fully in the tail. I'm going to stop there.
Okay. How would she get the heel underneath her?
Well, the first thing the skier needs to do is flex the ankles or engage the
Okay.
ankles.
Is that going to be enough?
It's going to fix a lot of things because in some points, actually, we might need to see the hips flex a little bit more too. So there's more of an athletic stance with the spine and the knee angles being similar, and we're not seeing that.
Actually, I think she's kind of over flexed in the hips in a lot of cases.
Well, it depends on which part of the turn.
It depends on the turn. Yeah. There is an rapid extension at the top of the turn, I would
Right.
note too.
There's some
Right.
point, there are a
But
few
the
turns that
extension
we stop.
is, which way is the extension? Is it forward? Is it
No,
directional or is it up? Which
it's
way is it going?
upright. The
Okay, cool.
extension's upright.
Cool. Which is not really helping her get forward to engage the tips, right?
Correct. At
Yeah,
some point,
cool.
the tips are actually off the snow.
Yeah, especially when she's trying to spinny, right?
Hmm.
She, they, whatever,
The skier.
the skier. Yeah.
Because the skier is aft, we are not seeing the skier has to figure out a way. It's blocking the rotation in the hip socket. So to lead to our next
Oh, you're
fundamental,
gonna go right into rotation?
why not?
Yeah, go.
Um,
Love it.
the skier is achieving a rotation from the upper body. This is happening from the finish of a turn, really, when the skier has got the weight in the back. And because of that, the only way to begin the turn is actually to move the upper body, and it's going to create a quick whip around. I've been calling it like a huck down the hill. So it's almost like it's a very, very small initiation phase with the ski because most of the ski is following what the body is doing.
Okay.
That's causing the skier to really spin through that shaping phase very quickly and land at the bottom of the turn with a very limited counter position. And ideally, we would like to see the body in more of a countered position. Um, and and we're not seeing that. The skier is pretty squared up at the end of each turn because the weight is aft and the joints aren't able to rotate well. So getting the skier in a more athletic position with the ankles, knees, and hips flexed appropriately will allow the skier ideally to be making turns and steering ability from the legs down and a stable upper body.
Cool. The only thing I haven't heard is about the ski performance
In rotation,
in the rotation. What's the ski performance in the rotation?
ideally, we'd like to see the skis and steer into the initiation phase, into the shaping phase, and with a continuous steering throughout all three phases of the turn. And we are
Mhm.
not seeing that in this skier. We're seeing a very the skis are actually following what the upper body is doing, and we are seeing a very rapid, almost spinning of the skis
Mhm.
from the initiation to the shaping into the bottom.
Is
Um,
one ski, are they doing it simultaneously or was one ski
there's
moving
also a
before the other?
sequential
Yeah,
piece to the
cool.
skiing because the skier has to use the shoulder. So to get that ski to rotate on the outside, that's how that ski is getting a rotation is from that upper body twist.
Okay. Yeah.
And then quickly the skier then sequentially brings the other ski and to match it to come around and finish the steering.
Okay, cool. One ski's moving before the other. Which ski
In
is
some of
moving
the
first?
turns, uh, the outside ski.
Cool.
How'd I do, Scott?
Questions on it?
I thought was good. The thing you could have been a little clearer on, Katie, my thinking is when we talked about that upper body rotation, we talked about, I like what you said about her being aft and her joints kind of being locked up, but we also talked about her being on that inside ski. So we had that upper body rotation. That outside ski quickly goes way out and you have that big divergence.
Hmm.
Right.
And I think you covered the timing and the speed was good, and then how that once that ski gets out there and she finally gets a purchase on it, basically at the end of the shaping, um, I think John was talking about. Remember, he picks up that inside ski and just kind of puts it next to it,
Yeah.
right? So that inside, that's when all the weight's on the outside ski, and so the inside ski can quickly be brought parallel at the end of the turn.
Right.
This snow does not look like fun.
Mm-mm.
No.
It's not soft, I can tell you that. And the only other thing I would say too, Katie, is I would have liked you to talk about the timing of it. So when does the hawk happen or the big upper body rotation? It
From
happens for me, it happens at the extension. So when they extend, the skier extends, that's when this happens.
Is
they got
that
a
is that the initiation of the turn or the finish?
It's at the initiation. So yeah, there's a big up move and then
Mhm.
a rotation, and that's how the skier gets the skis to move from side to side. Just got to lighten them somehow.
Mhm.
Yes.
Hey Chuck, is that also maybe a function because her center mass is so far back, she almost
Yes.
has to jump up to get pressure kind of
Yes.
back under her feet a little bit,
She's
even though it's not
she's got to
going.
get the pressure off the back of the skis because
Yeah.
if she doesn't, they're just going to get stuck. Right?
Right.
She's going to try to spin against something that's going to get stuck in the snow.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can't turn her feet and legs at all until she makes that huge move.
Yeah. Yep. All right, cool. Come on, get out of the way. I gotta get it. All right, last one. Laura, you got pressure management. You got 2 minutes.
Good, because I'm not going to say very much. Okay, look at this one. So I've got two screens. So can't we need to let people look at it for just a second, right? I'll let them
No,
look.
go ahead and start talking.
Okay.
This is meant for verification.
Okay, right. So this skier is not engaging, is not accepting the pressure. I was about to talk about edges, but is not accepting pressure throughout the shaping of the turn. There's not enough work happening at the top of the turn. And so what happens is at the bottom of the turn, there's just way too much pressure that she has to deal with, which creates a skid at the bottom of the turn as she gets on her highest edges and she skids out because she just has more pressure than she can deal with. So a more ideal regulation of pressure would be that she's in a position to steer into the turn, begin to spread the work out through a rounded turn, like the ideal teardrop shaped turn. And then when she gets to the bottom, she doesn't have to have such a high edge angle and so much braking and displacement of the skis. Instead, she's able to relieve some of that pressure by flattening the skis earlier at the transition of the turn.
Questions? Does that make sense to everybody?
Basically, there's more magnitude of pressure than can be really handled at the bottom of the turn.
And ideally, we'd like to see it spread.
We'd like to see it spread out throughout the turn.
So if she could grip higher in
Right.
the turn.
Right. Oh, I should have said grip because I kept saying edging and I was trying not to say edging. But yes, if she was able to steer in a way at the top of the turn that caused grip earlier in the turn, so she was able to grip throughout the turn, she wouldn't have such a high amount of pressure she has to deal with at the beginning, the end of the turn.
You are mute and your voice is going through Laura's microphone.
That's fine. I am literally 2 feet away from you.
Right.
All right. TK. Huh?
Yeah.
You got this one right here. Got this nice fancy screen here, and you're talking about edging.
Need to have your audio. Okay, let me get out of your space.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm doing edging. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so this intermediate skier on an intermediate run, making a Z-shaped turn. And what I'd like to see what the skis are doing, the initiation is there's very little edge angle. And the edge angle increases slowly and progressively through the end of the shaping phase. And that's where the the skis reach their highest edge angle. Body performance, I'm seeing some inclination starting at the top of the turn and some angles created with inclination through the shaping phase, and then quite a bit of inclination at the end of the shaping phase, right before the finish, as the skis hook up with the fall line and reach their maximum edge angle. And this is due to the cause and effect is the body is not creating enough angles, especially down in her lower legs from the knees down, starting with the ankles, I should say, from the ankles up to the knees. I'd like to see some more angles created early in the early shaping phase of the turn, reaching their highest angles just below the apex, with adding some femoral roll to the tipping of the ankles and knees as well to create that highest edge angle through the shaping apex area of the turn. And that would then help her not have such a big banking move at the almost at the finish of the turn. Well, you could, I'll say inclination, and I'll keep it straight. A lot of inclination at the very end of the turn. And
Let's go back.
okay,
Let's talk about the ski performance again. Let's help them again with the type of initiation of ski.
a very little edge angle at the initiation.
And some dirt.
Okay, so then the skis start tipping, and they reach their highest angle at the late shaping phase of the turn,
Quickly,
right before the finish, very rapidly. Very rapidly. That's what's creating that Z shape.
Well, don't let the Z shape just be the description. She'll tell me what's happening.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot of high edge angle at the very end of the turn as the skis hook up with the fall line.
One ski doing it before the other.
Yes, there is a bit of a 1-2 as she's pressuring the inside ski more, or not pressuring, but tipping the let me think about that. Let me just see this time.
Yes, just say yes.
Yes. So there is a sequential movement, yes.
So part of it's kind of stomach.
Yes, but definitely tipping the inside ski more, creating that sequential movement. And ideally, I'd like to see this skier start tipping the skis sooner and creating more angles in the initiation and into the early shaping phase. Start increasing those edge angles and making a more round C-shaped turn to control their speed and create good edge angles throughout the whole shaping phase.
How's she going to do that?
She's going to not inclinate as much and use her ankles and her knees to angulate more, especially in the through the initiation and early shaping phase of the turn.
Questions? Amy, back to you. Are you still there?
I have a question. I don't know if it's appropriate because I know he's doing edging,
Yeah,
but my question is, do you see, how do you think she's doing fore aft, and do you think her fore aft position has any effect on her edging?
I'm gonna, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is a yes, and TK is gonna talk about that.
Oh.
How does the fore aft affect her edging?
Being that she's a little bit aft, it makes it hard to to tip. If we all get to a position where we're kind of seated and we try to tip our lower legs, you'll find it's more difficult when you're back, because you're putting so much pressure on your upper legs that you can't really access the lower legs very well.
Does that help, Scott? More clarity?
Well, yeah, so what does she need to do to eliminate that problem and make her edging better?
I think if she doesn't drop back so much at that finish of the turn, do the hip drop, and she doesn't allow that so much flex in the knees, she'll be able to have her ankles more closed, get her more forward, so she can then be more forward down the hill instead of back up against the hill.
How's that going to be?
And that's going to then keep her edges from going to such a quick high edge angle at the end. She'll be able to control that amount of edging earlier by tipping her skis earlier in the turn, so it doesn't load up the end of the turn with so much inclination and pressure on the inside ski.
Biomechanically, how she
May I add something here? I noticed that her inside ski sometimes actually was tipping up. That's an indicator that of the open ankle of the inside ski. I would like her maybe to maybe move the inside ski a little closer under the body. If you notice that in the shaping phase after the apex point, you can see some in some like here, the inside ski is a little bit way ahead of the outside ski.
Yes.
Tip
That's a tip lead is what you responded to, yes. But if we're back, unmute again. If we're back, it makes it really difficult to pull that ski back underneath us.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of having both ski or one ski try to pull it back, we really need to get both skis back underneath us. And what's that going to do biomechanically? It's going to lock the ability for the legs to move this way and allow the lower legs to tip. That's the biomechanical piece that TK was trying to talk about. Okay. Because so from the major, we're working at, it's already 8:30, but from all the descriptions that we have, what's the overall consensus about the skier? What's going to be the path to least resistance? What's going to make this skier better instantly?
I think fore aft is going to be the good beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically what?
That's going to, well, being more, having close ankles and being in an athletic stance is going to really change a good deal of the issues that we dealt with.
Yeah.
I think if she was in a more if her fore-aft stance, if her feet were underneath her ankles were closed, her knees were a little more extended, she'd have some pressure. She'd be able to initiate pressure on the tips in the initiation phase of the turn, which would allow her to progressively develop edge angles and inclination angulation more easily and create a rounded turn in which she could control her speed. It would also help with preventing that excessive inside leg tip lead. She'd be able to keep that inside leg tip lead back.
Yeah, the tip lead, a tip lead to me is a response to ski pressure. I feel that's my personal opinion. The opinion by Chuck. I think that's a response to the inclination part of each one of these. She needs to get that ski out of the way in order for her to incline, to help her incline a little bit more. I really think that if she had more ankle activation and could get more forward. And I really liked how what you said, Dave. I think she flexes at the waist too much, especially at the end of the turn. If she could get her thighs a little bit more vertical, then she wouldn't have to do that as much. She would be more over the skis, and then the tips would engage and pull her into the turn instead of her trying to push it around.
Chuck, I was going to ask, do you think it's the ankles? I see her knees very flexed kind of at all points in the turn. Do you think it might be the knees more than the ankles?
I think it would be, well, I'm like I said, I mean, we would like to see the thighs more vertical.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
actually curious
she
about.
does it she does it in a couple of spots, like right there. Okay. This is probably more of an appropriate place to be.
There's a good spot.
Yeah. But she instantly the skier instantly loses it, right?
Then she drops down, and it's all from the knees.
And this is the point that I want to make the only way that she's balancing over the outside ski in this position right here is by bending the waist. If she could pull this ankle back underneath her more, that would allow the tip to pull her into the turn instead of her trying to push away to get purchase to come around.
So a little more pinky toe roll.
I want to see this ankle bent more. I want to see this outside ankle flexed more.
I'm actually wondering if the boots are too stiff.
I am Katie, you hit a valid point. I've been thinking the same thing the whole time. I'm looking at these boots and I'm like, are these boots too stiff? It's not allowing them to move forward.
I think the skier is pretty athletic, and I'm getting the sense that there's something in the boots that is too stiff, and it's inhibiting the ankle activation or the ability to actually do the movement.
Or they don't really understand the importance of dorsiflexing the foot.
Doesn't matter. Sometimes boots are sometimes it's just somebody has a skinny ankle, or there's just not.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm not
the
saying
boot might be wrong. Yeah,
I'm not saying the boot's not stiff enough, but she may know she's
Another
not understand.
in the other picture though, there's other.
Got it. I know what you mean,
She
David.
does have pretty good closed ankles, so she's able to maintain some closed ankles. Not here, but
well, I think I say that because I mean, personally, I know that I have to maintain a conscious focus to keep my ankles dorsiflexed.
Yeah.
And step down on my big toe, which would push me back.
I don't think they don't know that they're supposed to do it. And this is a level 3 candidate. So they know by now that ankle activation is a thing.
Okay.
They're probably on at least a 120 flex boot.
Could be, right?
Can you say one more time what you said about the tip lead? Just
All right. So yeah, this is actually this is going to be a rabbit hole, I think. But
well, just a 1 minute rabbit hole.
Here's a perfect example of the problem right here. Okay, so we have, if we are not laterally and rotationally separated, what happens is that we end up kind of dumping to the inside. And in order for us to do that, we have to physically get that front ski or that inside ski out of the way. And what happens is that from a body standpoint, we end up pushing that leg forward instead of flexing it underneath us, because we really don't have the ability to do that. It ends up being in front of us. And that's the excessive tip lead right there. However, that's good ankle activation right there. So maybe it is not the boot.
There's some pretty good ankle angulation, some closed ankles coming.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Right
At the end of the turn. So it's just here at the beginning of the turn that it's not really, we need it to be more at the beginning of the turn. I really feel like Dave hit the point, which is if we could get more vertical thighs, that's going to help her move forward.
Scott mentioned Scott, you mentioned something to me about what you wanted to see me talk about at the finish of my term regarding edging.
Say that again. I hear a lot of echo.
Can you ask?
Yeah.
What's the question again? Hold on.
He asked me a question about edging at the end of the turn, initiation of what the body was doing. I think you wanted more body performance.
Oh,
Answer his question.
yeah, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, yeah. Go ahead and complete your thought then.
Scott, do you hear me?
Yeah, so I still haven't heard the question yet.
Scott, come in, Scott.
Speak louder. You're speaking into my microphone now.
Scott, you
I'm
out
here.
there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because I don't,
There we go.
I can't hear the question.
Now, hold on. I gotta adjust this. There we go. Are you back, Scott?
I never left, but I haven't
Right,
been
there
able
you
to
go.
hear the question.
Sorry, the microphone was on my headphone, so that's kind of made it tough. Go ahead and you had a question about.
The finish of the turn, I think you were wanting more clarification when I was describing edging.
Um, Actually, I don't remember the specifics on that, but the thing I heard a lot about edging early on was there was way too much pressure at the end of the turn. And when we started talking about fore aft, one of the results of fixing that is she's going to be able to get early engagement at the top of the turn and better manage pressure all the way through the turn. And that's going to eliminate the Z shape and that excessive pressure at the end of the turn. So I think that's why when we got into fore aft, why that was so important, because she's got to get forward at the start of the turn so she can progressively manage that pressure through the whole turn.
Yep.
Those were my thoughts.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
And I'm
Yeah.
getting nods on me and Dion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really clear.
That was very clear. Very clear.
Scott gets a high five.
All right, Scott, high five.
No, thanks. Thanks, Dion.
So, all right. So that was fun. I think we're done because it's 8:40 and I gotta go. I still gotta drive to Denver
Me too.
and then back again. So, questions? Anybody got any questions? This person is going to remain anonymous, but hopefully we've armed them with enough information that they can go out and change something important in their skiing.
I have a quick question on the first and second video. What I noticed actually in both video, the skier has vertical movement a lot.
Yeah.
Would you want to comment a little bit on that?
So I think the vertical movement is a result of lightening. They need to lighten the move from one side to the other. That's related to, again, it's related to fore aft, which is the only way that they can really move the skis from side to side is using some kind of up movement and a rotational movement to get the skis lightened enough that they could actually physically move them from side to side this way. Okay. And especially the tails, because when we're in variable condition like this, you notice how much more quickly the up movement happens because we got to lighten the skis, especially the tails, enough to get it around. If we don't lighten the tails, they're going to get stuck.
Almost like a leaper turn.
It's almost like a leaper turn. Yeah, literally. Right. I'm looking at snow because this snow does not look like a blast.
Oh, come on. Let's get some fat skis. You'll be fine.
It looks amazing. But notice that nothing moves when they go by.
I don't care.
You just got to get off your skinny skis, Chuck.
Oh my God, as though this is a perfect snow condition.
We'll take anything right now.
I mean, we only have ice and it's on East Coast, so this is perfect.
This is perfect snow. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, here-
Yellow and
You got to know where you're
yeah,
talking
there's
to.
no rocks and gravel mixed in. I don't know how to deal with this snow.
Where are the little baby trees? that we gotta
Exactly. The
grow?
little trees and the stumps and the stumps, the trees and the rocks. I need more rocks.
I think we have an intermediate skier at best too. You didn't hear me say that though.
All right. Any questions? Any last questions or comments?
Mm.
Back to you, Katie, real quick. That at the top of the turn about the angulation piece that we've been getting, that ankle piece at the as we incline, as we move over our skis and we start to incline into the new turn, that ankle piece is where those edge angles are coming from. And this is Richie Berger, who we watched a little bit earlier, and he does a marvelous job of creating that angle right there. And that's happening in the ankles. Because he's inclined. I don't see a lot of angulation happening in the knees and hips. So it's got to be happening in the ankles. Does that make sense? And so when we talked about the ideal, this is the ideal. Creating a lot of angles quickly. It's happening in the ankles. Then he starts to angulate as the pressures build with the knees and the hips. And now he's got that nice angulation that's happening that we love to see. And then he begins to release and the skis move him.
But he doesn't go completely straight up. He doesn't extend.
Well, we talked about this earlier. We can't. If we did, then we have to rely on some other way to get the skis to move from side to side.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's where the spinny, all the weirdnesses start to happen. He remains flexed, which gives him that access.
AJ pointed it out in the ski room we're looking at, because they go from one really long outside leg, and instead of flexing that leg, then extend the other leg.
You had this one right here, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It puts them in an inefficient position to use the ankles because our legs are straight. It's really hard to do anything except incline without any balancing angles when my legs are really straight.
Richie Berger uses the ski by tipping it the highest angle right at that apex. Like he said, it's only a ski length before he starts to untip it.
Yeah.
But he's using the ski shape to turn.
Well, he's using the ski shape to move the skis from one side to the other, right? He's not physically pushing the ski out.
No.
He's letting the ski move from one side to the other.
And once he gets on a high edge angle, the ski's doing a lot of the work for him to make that nice.
And here's that crossover thing, or the cross under, or cross, where the skis move across. Where the body moves across the skis, and that helps him with the inclination.
Look at that.
And a lot of people call that toppling. I hate that term, but
he's had as high edge angles most people get in the initiation turn.
He gets a lot of edge angles, like before he's even reached the point.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's
And he's still, he's engaged the snow, but only enough that he needs to. And then when he hits that apex and he bounces, and now but as soon as he hits that apex right here, now he's already thinking about how to get rid of the pressure.
And start the next turn.
And he starts the next turn.
So he's looking apex to apex, probably.
Yeah, he's apex. And there's the pop right there. There's all the pressure. And then as soon as he's still got a little pressure, but look how the body's folding up to get rid of the pressure. And then he's off of it. It's brilliantly good ski.
Yeah.
You just need to ski like that, TK, and you pass.
I know.
Gumby, you just need to ski like that and you'll pass.
Oh, if I skied like that, they won't pass me. I need to be more.
How come I can do that on my snowboard?
Gumby, if you skied like that, they'd pass you.
Yeah, they skied like that, they shoot me. They'd be like, "You're cheating." All right, cool.
Would you
Anyway,
describe this as a performance short turn or dynamic short turn or?
this is what is it? Dynamic, isn't it?
Short radius.
Short radius dynamic.
Sounds good.
Performance is a little bit more slip.
Ah, okay.
Deer Valley groomed, don't forget. It's beautifully groomed.
No, this is Solden, man. That's where he's at. Yeah, Solden, Austria.
Well, it's combed perfectly though. Look at that.
Well, he's the first person on the hill.
We'd all ski that good on perfect snow, right?
Yeah, this is called hero snow. Look at that softy. You can get grip in there. Look at that, man.
Corduroy.
You know, half the skis are buried in the snow when he goes through. All right. Anyway, thank you very much for coming. Hopefully this helped the person who is the most important one in the room. And we'll talk later. Thank you very much for coming, and have a great week.
Drive safe back to Denver.
Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.